Hey Clashers, it's finally here, the first sneak peek for the summer update in Clash of Clans. And this means we have a new dark spell in the game. On top of that, new troop level and as well a ton of quality of life improvements we're going to discuss in this video. But let's get things started with the new dark spell. The Dark Spell Factory can be upgraded on Town Hall level 14, and the spell is going to have 2 new levels on that town level, and then each new town level is going to have 1 new spell level for the spell overall, which means on Town level 14, it's 2 level, then Town 15 is 1, Town 16 is 1, and Town 17 is 1, to a total of level 5. What does this spell do? Well, it is pretty much a freeze for your own troops. For 7 seconds, they take less damage, but can't move. That is like the overall concept of this spell. Which in first place sounds kind of confusing, but overall it is going to be incredibly strong. Because with upgrading this spell, you can get a total of 94% damage reduction. That's right. This is crazy. Only 6% damage for 7 seconds. You can do so many things with this spell. We're going to discuss a ton of use cases because I think this is going to be one of the strongest spells in the entire game because it has only 1 spell slot. That's right. It's pretty much the same or like the same thing to a freeze or invisible or such things. It is going to be really, really powerful. But the next thing I want to show you are the new troop level. Because we are going to have a new troop level for the balloon. Yes, finally, and take a look at that design. This looks so epic. I love the design overall. Let me know which of those troop levels are your favorite design overall. With the new troop level, we're obviously going to get as well the new rocket level, the rocket loon level for the same troop because it's just the super version of the same troop. But this means 2 rocket loons are going to be enough now for some of those defenses, which is really nice. The next level, which is long overdue, is the new Hound level, the Lava Hound. And this is for town level 16 already. Yep, that's right. This was needed for a long time, but the bonus stats are not that crazy to be honest. But on top of that, as already for the regular loon, we're going to have as well the super level in like the Ice Hound, having the bonus level obviously as well, the same as the Lava Hounds. Overall, looking forward to some use cases. Maybe Lalo come back? Who knows? But let's move on to the next one, and that's going to be the Druid. Overall, I really like it. I mean, this one of design-wise, mechanic-wise, one of the coolest troops in my opinion in the entire game. And overall, the design looks really cool, especially if the Druid is going to transform. That looks really nice. On top of that, we're going to have a new Blimp level. This one is for town level 15 and above, which is quite nice. I mean, the Blimp technically is getting a nerf with the Eternal Tome rework, which is going to happen as well in this update. But the biggest buff, in my opinion, is going to happen to the Frosty. Because the biggest thing here is not the stats improving, but having 1 more Frostmite. Do you remember having the Siege Barracks like a second P.E.K.K.A. in there? I wouldn't call it the same like overall boost, but this is whenever you have like you're adding another troop on top and not just stats. And this is exactly the same case. Having now 3 Frostmites here is going to make this pet so much more reliable. On top of that, finally we have as well all of the remaining walls to upgrade. I know a lot of people were asking for those. iTzu, when are the last walls are going to be available for upgrade? It's going to happen with this update. And if you want to farm those walls as quickly as possible, maybe buy the gold pass or any other offers from the in-game shop, make sure that you're supporting your favorite content creator out there. If you want to support me and the channel, make sure that you're using creator code iTzu. I really appreciate that. But let's move on because I've already mentioned the Eternal Tome rework, which means the Eternal Tome is now pretty much working like the other auras. If something is leaving the aura, it's going to leave and lose the effect, which means we're going to play a Mass Dragon Attack with the Blimp, use the Eternal Tome, but with the Blimp leaving the Tome, it's going to lose the invincibility, and it's going to drop down quite quick, and it's not going to reach the Town Hall. But don't worry, you just have to play it a little bit smarter now. Not really much different, just delay things a little bit, and this, by the way, is one of the reasons why I think the Healing Tome now is just so much more better than the Rage Gem. Because you just want to have your dragons take some damage, take your time, crush the first wall, and then play the Blimp. Because take a look at this, you're still losing the invincibility, but you're making way further. And then you have 4 clone spells to stay clone towards the Town Hall, And even though I think the better approach is to just come from the flank of the Town Hall, I just really want to showcase to you that even with the Town Hall, which is located on the other side of your entry, you can still make it all the way with just cloning towards your main target. Super simple, super straightforward, and don't worry, dragons with a blimp is not that whatsoever. Just use the clones to get towards the Town Hall, or just delay the blimp a little bit. It's not going to be the end of the world, trust me. I have played this now for a couple of months already as well, but it's not that big of a deal. People are freaking out, but I guess people will see in whenever the update is going to drop anyways, that it's not that crazy and it's not going to change that much. You just have to play the blimp a little bit smarter. Technically, it's difficulty-wise, it's on the same level. Not really much changes. People will get used to it super quickly, and then they will feel like nothing has changed, right? And in the end, the Eternal Tome duration was just increased. So, yeah. But people will find that out over time. No problem whatsoever. But I think the next thing as well I want to talk about is that we're getting some nice quality of life improvements. The first thing, if you're tapping on your hero during the army screen, you can change as well skins over there. Not the craziest thing, to be honest, but hey, it is there now. Just wanted to mention it. But the way bigger deal, in my opinion, is that you can now hold onto icons of troops or spells and change their order. The important thing here is this order is going to be the same then in the attack itself. So if you want to have your dragons on the right or on the left, wherever, you can just drag them there to make sure that exactly positioned as you want them to have in your attack itself. Super cool feature. On top of that, we're going to have a new feature called Cookbook, which means on your town level, you're going to have suggested army recommendations, which, to be honest, are completely troll. I mean, they are really bad. You see it right here for Town Hall 16 and Town Hall 17. They are not good whatsoever. I have no clue who came up with this, but they are, what's the nicest word I could think of? They're special. I think that's a great word to describe it. But don't worry, in the future, there's going to be then, I guess, as well, creator armies and such things, or event armies going to be highlighted, which I hope are going to be a little more reliable, but whatever. Let's take a look now at some of the use cases for the new spell, because I'm a huge fan of this spell. And one of the things is you are going to have stronger Royal Champion charges, Warden charges, Queen charges, any type of hero charge is going to be stronger now. If you go into the Giga Bomb, for example, or into a bait, you just use that spell and you take pretty much no damage. Take a look at that. This entry would have not been possible without that spell, because maybe the Royal Champ would have survived. That's not the end of the world, that's right. But you would have lost so many hit points on the Fox. With that, we're keeping the Fox a couple of more rotations alive, which means on the back end, it's going to save us a couple of invisibilities, which is just nice to have, right? Like, why shouldn't we take more invisibility spells moving forward? And if you take a look at the value overall, everyone who plays the game knows by now, yes, that's going to be a crushing 3-star. I mean, the base is gone. The base is literally gone because we went into the Giga Bomb. And even if there would have been more giant bombs, it would have been even more easy because we would have just blocked the entire damage of those traps. It's just crazy how good this is. Obviously, this works for a Warden charge, for example, as well. If you're about to approach a lot of damage, just use it on your Warden. Just make sure that you're not using it on your healers. And with that, the Warden is staying safe. Super safe, to be honest. Next thing is if you're going into Town Hall 16 and Town Hall 12 or something in between, you can use that obviously as well to block the Giga Bomb, which is inside the Town Hall still for those tower levels. Which means if the tower is dropping low, just get the spell ready, and as soon as the tower is going down, just use it, and you're going to keep everything alive and safe. It is super nice to counter those tower levels, and if you want to use it back to back, you can do that as well. If you want to make sure that, well, the Town of Poison, for example, is not taking down your entire army. Just make sure that your king is not getting targeted by a monolith, because even that is going to still take some damage. But overall, you can do so much stuff with this spell. As I said earlier, I think it's going to have, like, every army is going to run this spell with, like, 1 to 2 of those spells in the army, because it is just an improvement overall in most of the army compositions out there. It can be used always in so many situations, which is the tricky thing. This spell requires creativity, and as well really good timing, and as well really good placement, which makes this skill one of the strongest but one of the hardest spells to use at the same time. Let's now talk about a different use case, which is smash attacks, ground attacks. I will show it to you with the example of the Super Witch, but you could use Root Riders with this. Yes, Root Rider attacks are going to be stronger than. You can use it with Super Yetis, you can use it with Titans, like with any ground army pretty much, you can use this spell. How do you use it? Well, first off, it is going to replace the Eternal Tome completely for ground attacks. Yes, Super Witches did not use the Eternal Tome anyways, but you can now use for Fireball attacks, the Fireball with the Rage Gem, and for Royal Gem and Charge attacks, you can just use the Healing Tome with the Rage Gem. The reason is, whenever there is too much damage, just freeze your troops, and with the Rage Gem and the healers, they're just going to keep everything alive and safe. It is really straightforward, and it's just so powerful. I mean, it's so good in my opinion, because you're only taking 6% damage on the highest tower level than from spells and everything, and healers inside the Rage Gem of the Warden are going to easily recover those hit points in those 7 seconds, and you can just keep going like it's nothing. The problem here, though, is what I highlighted already earlier. It is not an easy spell to use. That's, I guess, the downside. Which means I will use the second spell as well on the back end. But let's take a look at what happens if you don't place it perfectly. Because for this one, I actually catch the healers as well. Which typically you're trying to avoid. Because you want to have the healers keeping everything alive, right? So you need to make sure on when to use it. And as well where to use it, placement-wise. Really not that easy to use, but again, I think one of the spells with the most potential in the entire game. On top of that, did you ever had issues with invisibility spells? Yep, you can just run into one of the invisibility spells, trigger it, and then just freeze your troops, and then in those 7 seconds, the invisibility spell is already back up, or like, not there anymore. So you can, like I said, the use cases are endless. But now, let's talk about air attackers, right? Not everyone is using ground. I still think for ground attacks, it's like the better use. But you can do fun stuff for air attacks as well. For example, a Minion Prince charge. In this example, I'm using the Dark Orb and I'm using as well the Henchman Puppet. They have the most possible DPS. Obviously, you can use like whatever equipment combination. It's just about like what is possible. We're using one of those hounds, freezing it. And the next cool thing, why I think the synergy with the Dark Crown is somewhat decent, I'm not calling it OP, broken, whatever, it's somewhat decent, okay? Because this means the Lava Pups, the Hound itself, everything is like catering towards the Dark Crown and stacking it. Then you can just recall the Minion Prince whenever it took down the compartment, and you can just do it again on the other side if you want to. But the main takeaway point for this spell is that really the creativity is like the sky's the limit. There's so many things you can do with this, and I'm really looking forward to your crazy ideas out there. Let me know in the comments. Go crazy. Think of some crazy stuff, because I'm really thinking that even though I already put quite some time into thinking different use cases, I think there's just so many more out there, and I think this spell is going to be really, really, really good, and I'm looking forward to people and how people are using it. As well, though, I want to use this moment as well to like add some more stuff, because I only try to pick some of those, I don't know, like best part of the sneak peek. But let's just go through a quick list of other little changes. First off, the lower tower level are going to be made easier, like balance change wise, they're going to be easier. On top of that, we're going to have some other changes, like for example, for friendly wars, you can do now 2 versus 2 friendly wars or 3 versus 3 friendly wars, which is quite nice. So I think maybe we're going to see some 2 versus 2 tournaments or something. That would be cool. So that's going to be now way easier. I'm still going through the list to make sure that I'm not missing anything. We have a new language in the game, Polish, which I don't know why it wasn't in the game yet, but hey, it's now getting added, right? So that's nice. The Grand Warden Fireball and Tornado Trap, there were some VVX changes, I think. So yeah, that's going to happen. And then as well, there's some nice visual thing, which means they have removed from the hero information screen that there's no regeneration time anymore for the heroes. But I mean, we all knew that anyways, right? Like that was just something from the past, which was still in there, but it did not really change the game. I hope otherwise I was able to summarize everything mostly, and I'm looking forward to then tomorrow's video, because remember, that was just sneak peek number 1. Let me know, and that's really something I want to hear from you guys. How would you use the new spell? Because I think, as I said, this spell is going to change quite a bit in Clash and is going to improve a lot of strategies and make them even more powerful. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching as always. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next video. Until then, see ya and Bye bye.